my dad's digi. Motherfucker fame, all my niggas lit it. Paper to the face, I don't smoke no Philly. Drippin' sauce like I'm chilly. Set that milk came to the floor when it's chilly. I got big booty bras at the telly. And end up from the store who was ready.
I can't fuck with none of y'all niggas, y'all disgust me. When you with your maggot ass friends, don't discuss me. Effing with a standing clip, I hope don't try to rush me. I hear him saying such and such, a nigga ain't gon' touch me. Big body bench, remember I used to be dusty. Now I want my money, y'all hunters in a rush, please. I was selling weed when they came out with white tee. Now I put a whole half a ticket on my white tee. Whole hood popping, other niggas, they don't like me. Made her eat it up, she told her friend he gon' wipe me. All my niggas thoroughbred, on forward cross street. Free all of the bros down the road and on right street.
Hit that fast thing speeding through the city. Panoramic brain in my dad's digi. Motherfucker fame, all my niggas lit it. Paper to the face, I don't smoke no Philly. Drippin' sauce like I'm chilly. Set that milk came to the floor when it's chilly. I got big booty bras at the telly. And end up from the store who was ready. Put some fine bitches in my jellies. 2 new glass tinted, these spaghettis. Ain't gon' bash you bitches, I ain't petty. Just know we fucking, we ain't going steady. I don't wanna sleep, I need more eddies. I ain't had no kid, but I'm a daddy. Let her shake her ass like it's magic. 20s in my pocket, look like cabbage. Carrots everywhere, I'm a rabbit. I ain't sure they low, what was that name? You was told to go, keep that cannon. I'm a fucking gold, I can't panic. Hit that fast thing speeding through the city. Panoramic brain in my dad's digi. Motherfucker fame, all my niggas lit it. Paper to the face, I don't smoke no Philly. Drippin' sauce like I'm chilly. Set that milk came to the floor when it's chilly. I got big booty bras at the telly. And end up from the store who was ready.
Money conversations, check my phone, sway. How about Dolce Gabbana, Chanel?
Today, we're going to talk about the loaded MLB slate. We're going to do a $100 giveaway, and let's cash a squad ride. This is Behind the Lines.
I feel like we get a Corbin Carroll, Nugenheimer off of something off speed. Can't walk him. Can't get him on the base pass. I think you got to pitch to him. And I don't know if it's going to end well.
That guy sucks, Jose Ferrer. Sure, he can throw 100 miles an hour. He has no idea where it's going.
There's
Zero
no way
clue.
you're gassing up Ferrer, dude.
Zero clue where it's going. That guy, he might as well be pitching with a blindfold on.
And then Ty Jerome, this is where I will gladly take him to be pork. This is his perfect opportunity to shine, and he's been really good at taking these opportunities. So now that he has every single opportunity in the world where he's going to be pretty much the only starter in the lineup for a majority of the game against this Pacers defense, gladly, I will get involved.
Arrest Zach Campbell. Put him behind steel bars. Get this guy out of here. He is a f***ing loser, a scum, a lowlife who makes people's lives around him significantly worse to benefit his. He's a me guy, the textbook definition of a me guy. What's going on, chat? Happy BTL Friday, the best BTL of the week, episode 690-piece. As always, hold the fry, joined by your two hosts, Krabs and Jovan, presented by Bookit Sports. Again, guys, if you're not using Bookit Sports already, what the hell are you doing? Go check out Bookit Sports on the App Store or Google Play. Depends on what phone you have. Does not matter. They have it up there on your App Store. Get involved. Go check out Bookit. If you have not checked out Bookit already, you must live under a rock, like Patrick Starr himself. Get involved. Get involved. All right, download Bookit. I promise once you check it out, you're going to keep using that puppy. All right, 100 different features on that app. Go check it out yourself. Bookit. I'm geeking at some of these chats. Jovan, though, first, how we doing? Good to see you.
Good. Did not have a Patrick Starr mention on the card today. Plus $1 million cash.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while. You know what else has been a while? Watching that intro, watching Zach Campbell just be a huge piece of shit. It's been a while since we've talked about Zach Campbell and seen a Zach Campbell sighting.
I guess that's a good thing. You probably just chased him into catching a home run today.
Yeah, you're probably going to see we are long overdue for a Zach Campbell either robbing a home run, reaching over the fence, impacting the game, maybe pushing out a little kid out of the way, shoving him out of the way. because he thinks he's little kids, because he's never actually had a real job in his life. We're due, long overdue, for a Zach Hampel me guy moment. I'm going to start calling them, right? Total Slayer coming in, dropping a 10-unit whale. You like that one, Jovan?
Yeah, love that one. And definitely love Total Slayer set and tone.
Talk about an anti-me guy moment. The opposite of it. Total Slayer blessing up 10 goats in the chat. Let's fucking go. Guys, 10 of you guys just got blessed up in the chat, and you guys aren't hype at all. Come on, get them up. It's a Friday. We're going to cash all of our bets today. Like the chat said, so we're going to flip the curse around. I'm typically not great on Fridays, but I think I had a pretty good Friday, actually, as a contrarian would after I brought that up last week. I think we had a decent Friday. So maybe the tides are changing, right? Let's have a Friday. Let's have a good weekend. Yes, Slim Smith.
I think my Friday might be Thursday.
Yeah.
Lights are just way too bright on the Thursday short slates. I think every week almost.
Thursday night slates for Jovan. Lights might be turned up a little too bright.
Way too bright.
Look, man, we all have our strengths and weaknesses. Okay, you got to lean into them. You got to stay away from the weaknesses and what hurts us. And if that's the case, that's the case. That's good to know going forward. Okay. Why don't we go ahead and recap a little bit here, as we got some goats in the YouTube as well. Ran dope. Let's go, boys. Krabs and Jovan's picks are the best. Thank you, Ran. Appreciate you chilling in the YouTube chat. You're goated. We're going to do a giveaway here in a little bit. We just hit 2.8K subs. Let's go, Pega. Sure, we can, Pega. Appreciate you, Beast. All right, let's go ahead and recap the squad ride. We got a lot to get to today. Hey. That one's stuck.
I was thinking, who was it 2 days before? Oh, the D-backs. I was thinking, like, as they closed that game out and tried their best to blow it, I was like, man, it's been taking, I guess, a lot longer than usual to get a crazy bullpen collapse, to be on the other side of that in a squad ride. Hadn't happened so far this year. And what do you know? The Red Sox pull it
off. I still cannot believe it, what I witnessed last night in that game. A couple things. Number one, I mean, even pitching to Vladdy Guerrero in that spot doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. You brought up a good point as well. We got a reliever out there who's not their best arm available. They have a pretty rested bullpen. Why is this guy pitching 2 games in a row?
Yeah, I mean, I like Slayton, but I mean, after Houck goes 7 and the same rollout of Slayton and Chapman for an inning each yesterday or 2 days ago. I don't know why you go back-to-back days with Slayton in the 8th. That was really odd to me. But yeah, pitching to Vladdy there is crazy.
With first base open, what are we doing? Oh. And then after the home run, they pan to the Blue Jays dugout for like 2 minutes as they put on that stupid blazer and celebrate whatever. Then they pan over to the Red Sox dugout, and you see Alex Cora, Jason Varitek, my goat, and Andrew Bailey, who's in the doghouse for me right now, the pitching coach for the Red Sox. Not a lot of people know Andrew Bailey's their pitching coach, a legend of the game. And I always respect, veterans who've been around the game for a while and they still stick around afterwards. They must just fucking love baseball. So they got that going for them. But Andrew Bailey's decision-making, might need to go back to the drawing board. What the fuck was he thinking?
Yeah, it was weird.
Putting him in there second straight game. He was all over the place. And what are we thinking? Pitching to Vlad Jr. with a base open, man. What are we doing?
Can't have it.
That sucked. This almost feels like an impromptu Steam Krabs. That's okay. That stunk. We got William Wagers, though, coming in with a resub. Use code BOOKIT on SeatGeek to go watch Vegas and get W's. Sure, Bookit10. Use code BOOKIT10 on SeatGeek. Sure we can, William. W's. Walk Vladdy and have Chapman face Santander. I mean, yeah. Santander, I know he's starting to heat up, but I'd much rather
on 200. And he's a switch hitter, so it's not like you can get a matchup, correct?
You can do whatever you want, really.
Yeah. I'd rather take my chances with that than one of the best players in baseball.
Yeah, that sucked. We're going to bounce back today, though, chat, and we're going to do a $100 giveaway because I promised you earlier this week, I think on Monday, if we don't go 3-1 or 4-0 on squad rides the first 4 days of the week, I will do a giveaway on here, and we're here. We're sitting at 2-2. So we're going to fire that puppy up here in a moment. We also hit our sub goal of 2,800. Would love to get to 3K. Holy smokes. Probably not today, but we are getting close, chat. We are getting close, and it does not go unnoticed. We appreciate all you guys, whether you're William Wagers dropping 1 subby, resubbing, whether you're Total Slayer coming in, being the most generous person in here, giving out 10 subbies, or whether you're just lurking in the chat. We appreciate all you guys. The subbies help more than you know. And, just talking, getting involved in the chat also helps too. Appreciate all the engagement from you guys. All right, let's keep moving and grooving. Let's bounce back today. Let's go ahead and look at the recaps, get them over with. I can't believe we told Trent he was in his duffel.
There's no duff in sight. Legit not. Anyway.
Yeah, I feel bad. I feel like we gassed him up. I feel like we even brought a smile to his face. He was up here. We made him feel really good. I complimented having a couple consensus quakes here with the over in the Nats game. You guys had what, the Pistons? Sure, that looks great. They're up 5 with 50 seconds left. They should win that game, right? Surely. Maybe the worst 5 plays I've ever seen in my fucking life.
Pretty bad. I'll give him that though, that he actually came in pretty labbed up. Again, there was some sell jobs. Like it was the best labbing I think we've seen him do. Just unfortunate results.
I 100% agree. I honestly, I probably didn't word that correctly. I feel like I got to take some of the blame here for jinxing him, gassing him up too much, and resulted in an 0-5 day. Cannot make it up. The reads were good. The outcomes were unfortunate. Yeah, you're not wrong, Turner Mac.
He might not ever get in the lab again. He might retire.
Yeah, he said he's never coming on again. Okay. He did get in the lab, and that's what happens, I guess, when Trent gets in the lab. We were all expecting better, but it is what it is. I mean, I got some losers I want to talk about too, though, Goots, if you don't mind. I know you're working hard back there, but can I talk about how bad some of my plays were real quick? That over in the Phillies game, Jesus Christ. Although it had plenty of opportunities. Never got there. Shout out to Jen for coming on the Surge stream yesterday. Trent scaring the living daylights out of him, saying 6 people have pitched the same play on the Leafs, and they still won the game. So good for you, DeGen, for staying on business.
Rare. Super rare.
Good for him. And he comes in with 5 subbies as a reward. Let's fucking go, DeGen.
DeGen.
Appreciate you, Beast. Also saw you were at a cool bar the other day. I don't know, it looked like a cool Western up there in New York. I sent it to my buddies who live up there. It looked like a really cool spot. I need to check that out. Stay hot, DeGen. Stay hot, my man. Appreciate the subbies as well. Jeffrey Springs, I mean, how do you have that good of a pitching performance with 1 strikeout? That's crazy.
That was
Kyle Freeland.
Really good square.
Really good square. Thank you. The only one we had, which is kind of sad. Freeland should have smacked. Should have, would have, could have, though. Not going to sit up here and act like I'm him. Still lost. So, not our best work, Jovan. And that Angels ML, I mean, Jesus Christ. Who is that guy on the freaking Tigers? Dan Dangler? Who is this guy?
Dangler. Goat.
Who is this guy?
The Angels played out pretty much the same as the Red Sox, just with a little more margin from the bullpen.
Oh. Dan Dangler's hitting 300.
He's literally
this season. Is he their backup catcher? Who the hell is this guy?
Dude, I mean,
he's got to be their starting catcher now.
Starter
now.
Of the
year.
He's been raking.
Dude's the next fucking Joe Mauer. Unbelievable. Ran dope. We moved. The lab session was good. I agree, man. I honestly think Turner Mac hit the nail on the head, and I typically don't agree with this statement, but I think the reads were there. It was just bad result, bad outcome. And a lot of those plays up on the board were plays that were winning up until the last seconds, or at least tied. And then the team folded like a Dollar Tree lawn chair or a cheap 10.
A lot of edging yesterday.
That was a new one.
So much edging.
Yep. Shout out Javi Baez, I guess, for Javi Baez is the next great center fielder. He's about to be in the Hall of Fame.
Gold fucking
unbelievable.
Glove.
Good to see Soto finally going yard. I went on TMA yesterday, and Mikey was roasting Soto for 5 minutes, and I said, go ahead and lock in a nuke, first one of the year at Citi Field. And what do you know? W Mikey.
2.
Gambling gods are always listening. Cannot script that shit. You literally can't. Good to see Soto finally get off the schneid and raise that damn apple up there, even as a Mets hater. Good to see it. Madul, how much longer we got until CFL, bro? I know you closed out the season pretty cold, but I'm ready to lock back in town. Let me know, Madul. I don't know if we're doing Surge stream today or not. I'm pretty sure Trent's getting mobile for a poker tourney this weekend, I believe. All right. Why don't we go and do this giveaway? Enough talking about the losers from yesterday so we can get involved and talk about some bounce back winners for today. But before we do, I owe you guys some coins. Okay? I said on Monday, if we don't go 3-1 or 4-0, Jovan, I'll give out $100. So we'll do it right now. Trying to think of a W keywords, buzzwords that we can get you guys to all drop in the chat, and we'll have Nightbot randomly pick somebody that does. Give me a second. Let me think of something that's either funny or makes an incredible amount of sense.
Ample?
No, fuck that guy, dude. He doesn't deserve that. Although he's so going to make a play this weekend, and you're going to see it on the feed. We are long overdue.
How about Nats?
All right.
Need him to get active today.
We certainly need him to get active. All right, first person to drop, not first person, excuse me. Drop Natitude in the chat, and we're going to have Nightbot pick a winner. You better spell it right. Natitude. Not Ratitude. I'm talking about Natitude.
A lot of Ratitudes already.
With an N. Natitude. All right. Anybody who drops a Ratitude, I'll be requesting you on Venmo. Anybody dropping Natitudes, you have a chance to win a $100 giveaway here, okay? Drop those Natitudes in the chat. Lord knows we need them.
Ratitude.
Hashtag Natitude. You can leave the hashtag off, though.
I'll let it go for a little bit longer.
Cannot believe that's the Nats hashtag still. It's been it's ever since I have memories.
On the team's website in the top left, it says Natitude.
Natitude.
All right.
It's something you might not understand over there in Baltimore. It's just the type of attitude we got over here.
I guess so.
Yeah. Natitude.
All right, here we go.
Sure we go. Looks like congratulations, Russell Ringrose. Yep. Okay. Do we have Russ up and moving in the chat? Let me take a picture of this so we make sure we get our guy Russell, his 100 bones.
There he is.
Do we have a loose Russell up and moving? We got a W first-time chatter coming in the Clutch crew. You saw him, Gootsy?
I saw him, yeah.
All right, what did he say?
He said W.
Okay. Go. Let's fucking go. Awesome. Hit me up on X, Russell Ringrose. Send me a picture of your Twitch account, so I know it's you. DM me on X, and I will hit you up this afternoon, and I'll send you 100 bones. W giveaway. All right, W's chat. Appreciate all you guys getting involved, getting in here early and often on BTL. I know a lot of you guys make it your daily routine. You're in here every single day. I appreciate all you guys a ton. Okay, and look, if we don't go, I'll run the same deal next week on BTL. Okay, if we don't go 3-1 or 4-0 on the first 4 days of the week next week, I'll do another giveaway on Friday. Okay.
It's a W deal.
Sir, do you have time to talk about Lindor hits? Jovan?
Dave woke him up a little bit.
Yeah, we know that's probably Dave. And yes, he did wake him up. Francisco Lindor. It's actually crazy. Night and day for Lindor since Dave chirped him. The Mets are good. Even without Soto balling, the Mets are good. The rest of the squad's carrying. You got Brandon Nimmo dropping 10 RBIs in one game. They're pretty good. And yeah, congrats, Russell, for the giveaway, man. W chat, staying positive. Even the people who didn't win the giveaway are hype. Let's fucking go. All right, let's keep moving and grooving. I do want to get to some plays and some winners for today. I don't want to spend any more time talking about the past. All right, we still have about an hour left. We got 69 nice coming in with 100 bits. On an unbelievable cold streak, he says. Need good vibes. You came to the right place. 69, nice. Appreciate the bits. Let's cash today. Let's attack the boards. I know we only have one game in the NBA and NHL. That's okay. That ain't no problem. We're going to have to be pretty prevalent on the diamond today. But you know what? We're the right guys for the job. If anybody can do it, we can. All right? And W Clutch Crew coming in, dropping a follow on Twitch as well. We are so close to 50K followers on Twitch. So if you're watching this on Twitch and have not followed yet, it's free. Get involved. Okay? For now, let's talk about some winners for tonight. Why don't we talk about our favorite plays on the slate for tonight? And yeah, only one way to get it started off here. Hashtag Ratitude. Okay? Been seeing a lot of Ratitude of late. It's time to flip the script, change the narrative. And Mitchell Parker coming off the worst start of his season. You know, Jovan, most people would say, you know, maybe the kid bounces back. I don't know if he does. I think he might outpitch Hunter Green, but I don't know if that means he pitches, you know, lights out today. Wouldn't be shocked if he follows up that 6-run performance with another couple runs. And we see some early ones in this game. A couple weird squares up there for both starting pitchers. I was a little bit shocked to see Hunter Green and that walks allowed square. He hasn't been walking many people this season. It's been one of his biggest strengths. And the Nats don't walk a ton. They're very aggressive. I was a little bit surprised to see that square even up there, and that tells me there might be some more traction, some more free bases, some free passes on the base paths for the Nats as well, and that's a great sign for runs. And, you know, they still have to play with 100% effort, 4 games under 500. The Nats cannot get fat, happy, complacent coming off of one win last night in that series. They salvaged it. I think they carry that momentum, and the Bats, they certainly could use a trip to the Great American Small Park, Jovan, because they have not been great of late. They haven't been terrible, but they haven't been great of late. They kind of died a little bit in that Philly series. A trip to Cincy could be exactly what the doctor ordered for the Nats bats, and the Nats historically play great against the Reds. I don't know what it is, but they have the Reds number. It probably has something to do with how bad the Reds have been over the years, but they have the Reds number. So they always, whether they're playing in Cincy or DC, they always play pretty well against the Reds, and they put up some runs, and they've had good success. I wouldn't be shocked if the Nats win this game. But seeing the steam towards Cincy, 15, 20 cents, not a great sign for the Nats. But, fuck it. It's the Nats. They're going to get disrespected. It's Hunter Green at home, and it's the Reds who have been mucking left-handed pitchers, and that's exactly what Mitchell Parker is. So not surprised to see the steam, Jovan, but probably not a great sign for the Nats. I think the better way to play this game is the over. After we got hoed last night, there were so many opportunities for runs in that game, man. And there's going to be the same. It's going to be the same case again today. We're getting runs. And the juice has completely flipped from minus 120 to the under 8.5 when this line opened up to now minus 120 to the over. And you're going to start seeing some nines aloof. Lock in this over responsibly while you still can, because it's going to go to 9. And we're getting runs in Cincy tonight. I don't know who's leading the way or leading the charge offensively. I think both squads carry their weight and can put up, 5, 6 runs each.
Yeah, going to need that. And I guess give and take a little bit, but I believe T-Steve is supposed to be back today for the Reds, which I know the Reds were awful against the lefties to start the year. And then over like the last couple of weeks, they've made a big time turn. I mean, having him back in the lineup, I know Austin Hayes is kind of the guy who got sent to the IL for him, which he's a bat against lefties too. But having Stevenson back is a huge boost, I think, for that lineup against lefties. So he was nails last year, and he was the key bat for all of that. So him coming back is pretty big tonight. So love that. And then this is also, I believe, the biggest like environment ballpark pal boost that's been in Great American all this season, which I think is a combination of a bunch of different things. So I'll tell you what I told, or tell the chat what I told you. Anytime we see those conditions in Great American Ballpark and Hunter Green is pitching, I am taking something supporting runs, whether it's directly fading him or in this case the over. So I'm taking it with you.
We got a golden Kappa train. Can somebody tell me what the hell that is? Can we keep that puppy moving? We only got 5 seconds left. W. Brian
Golden
C coming in with the resub. I don't know what that is, but I like it.
What the fuck?
Now it's gone. And it's gone. What's up, Lockie? Good to see you in the chat. A lot of people forgetting in the chat that I've been pretty sharp with the Nats overall this season because of maybe 1 or 2 losses over the last week. Let's not forget people were begging me for the Nats report every single day, 3.5 weeks into the season. Okay, Tej in the YouTube? Yeah, come on, guys. I've had very, very good reads on the Nats 95% of games this season. JJJ Quack, come on. We got to be better.
You've been locked.
Been absolutely dialed in. Prize pick squares, book plays, everything. You name it. All right? You did try to talk me into Lord Hits Allowed yesterday, so thank you. Yeah. Shout out Brad Lords, because I was disrespecting him a little bit yesterday. What a great performance from him. Good for him. Good for Brad Lord, although it cost us some coins. Maybe James Wood gets involved today. Yeah, there's some squares in this game that make me think we're getting some runs. Get that Matt McClain run up there, Jovan, that's red as ma. I do think we get some runs in this game. I could not resist keeping the Nats out of it. Let's swing it around to your place and see what you're crafting up over there, and we'll come back to the sharp O's. That should be a good look. But for now, let's hear about this over.
Yeah, so this is probably one you're not going to like, and trust me, I was looking for any reason to get off of it outside of what these pitchers have done the last couple times out, because it's one where usually like there would be a lot weirder squares up, I think, for these pitchers if there was some bounce back coming for either of them, but like especially on the Logan Allen side, who we're seeing for the Guardians today, there's not, which I was kind of expecting, and I was expecting it to scare me off, but it wasn't there. But I'll start with him. I love fading Logan Allen. I've done it multiple years in a row now, and he's a guy who's a lefty who gives up a lot of barrels. If you have a lineup that doesn't strike out very much and can put the ball in play, like you're going to hit the ball hard. It's like for the Jays, we talk about that a lot of times when they face these strikeout pitchers. It's one of the tougher matchups like they're going to have all year. Logan Allen's not like a top end strikeout arm, but you put the ball in play, which the Jays are very clearly going to. And a lot of the righties, I think, have been seeing the ball very well and not getting many results for it. One of the guys we'll talk about in a little bit, at least on the home run front, but I think they have a really good matchup today. And I think after the snooze fest of a game that was last night, obviously they came through in the end with the Vladdy home run. I think the offense shows up a little earlier in this one, and we get runs from the start. And Chris Bassett kind of, I don't want to say similar deal, but he started off the season on this incredible run where he had the best ERA in all of the majors for a while. And then what happened. He dipped off. The last 2 starts, he's been pretty horrid, I would say, giving up 4 runs in each of the starts. But I don't really think there's a bounce back coming, because if you notice what the difference is between the two, it's pretty easy to see. You have a super heavy strikeout. He was generating a lot of whiffs. He had one game where he had less than 7 strikeouts in the first 4 or 5 starts. Then what do you know? The last 2 starts where you all of a sudden couldn't get all these whiffs against these teams, he was struggling, and he was getting the ball hit hard off of him, which is why he got touched up so much in the start. So again, similar to the Jays, you got to face a lineup that's putting the ball in play a lot in the Guardians. And I think it's a tougher matchup for him, especially because they've been lifting the ball a little bit better for the sinker baller that he is. So I think these pitchers, especially like Bassett, I don't really see him turning a corner all that much. I'm not saying he's going to go up and give up 4 runs every single start for the rest of the season, but he's the one where I'm kind of leaving the bounce back angle to the side for this game, because I just think he's going to start turning into Chris Bassett. So I like runs in this game.
Yep. I know he has not been great, like you said, in his last couple outings, but he's been elite so far this season. I've seen graphics, I've seen stats, I've seen nugs about him. Let's keep fading him. Looks like he's trending downwards after those last couple bad starts. Let's back some runs in this game tonight. I would not be shocked to see Logan Allen give up some runs himself. I'm in.
Sure.
We got Dragon Slayer coming in, resubbing. 5 subbies for the peeps. Holy smokes, Dragon Slayer. All right. Sure we can. Appreciate you, goats. Brian C as well. Let's get it, fellas. Tailing those PP squares. Let's have a day, Brian C. Why not us? Why not us? Thoughts on BookitwithTrent to win the Celebrity Poker Tour? Plus 300 looks sharp. Yeah, does he have the shortest odds?
Could be a dono. Could be a big time dono.
He's due, though. I like his chances. I think Trent could stay locked in, maybe bring back one of these trophies. I know he wants to. He was talking about it last time. He wants to lock in and win. I think he could do it. Is he the shortest odds to win that tourney? Somebody let me know in the chat.
He can't be, right?
Well, once he gets head-to-head, he's going to fold, even if he makes it to the
easy,
final.
Dude.
Because he's never played head-to-head poker. It's a completely different game.
The lights just get
He's going to be folding hands that he shouldn't be.
Well, I don't know. I got a weird feeling about Trent this tourney tonight. I think you might pull it out. We got Jesus, 22 coming in, dropping a resub. Sure we can, Jesus. WBTL. W Jesus. Appreciate the subby, my man. Let's go, Big Bird. Appreciate seeing you in the chat, Beast. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a good week. All right. Jovan. W over. All right, we'll swing it around.
Sure.
I want to talk about the O's for a second here. Okay. I want to talk about the O's here for a second, dude. Swing it around. It's time. Let's get it over with here. And yeah, I don't know what the hell that noise was, but we're just going to keep on.
It's a video of, I was looking at, one of my friends sent me this Blues Jets quote, because he saw the Blues on the Sharp Report. And it's this video of, he's like, look at this video from the Jets head coach talking about this. It's just a baby whining. I was like, okay. He's like, you need to see this before you pitch the Blues ML. I was like, okay. Okay, man.
Sure we can. I appreciate the breakdown, honestly, because I was concerned.
Yeah.
Alex F. dropping some nugs in the Twitch chat. Trent minus 115 to advance further than Adrian Peterson. Okay. Shout out AP. Still playing in these things. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
That could be a max.
That honestly could be a max. That could be a max. Chipper, he's just not dialed. Come on. All right, let's move. Let's groove. I want to talk about the O's. Look, man, I know what I'm doing. And also, this game is super weird. I mean, the squares on Prize Picks have been changing all morning. I'm looking on the books. All the pitching props, or half of them are taken off the board right now. They're moving like crazy. Dean Kramer's up to 17.5 pitching outs right now. He was 16.5 this morning. Juice to the over. Super weird. Jovan, I feel like we're at the point of no return in this game. We've talked about the Orioles. We've talked about when they're sharp, they don't cash. And when they're dogs, that's when they do, when nobody believes in them. But we're at the point now where the fucking Orioles are up to minus 150. It's not like they're sitting at minus 120, minus 130, minus 135, shit, even minus 140. I mean, Dean Kramer is up to minus 150 against Michael Wacha, who's been pretty darn solid this season, pretty darn solid of late. So have the Royals. We're 2 games over 500s, even if they're on the road here in this game. They're on fire right now. They've won 4 of their last 5 games. They're in the hottest stretch of their season so far, and I'm still trying to figure out why the Orioles are up to -150 with Dean Kramer involved, and why some of his squares are where they're at. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Auto Gelato, yeah, that's what everybody's going to think, and that's what the books want you to think, and that's why you're missing out on a loser here potentially, or a winner here potentially, and that's the Orioles on the ML -150. I'll be honest, they were not -150 this morning when I put this in here, but now they are, and I'm sticking with them. Give me the O's. Give me Bookit Squad in Baltimore. Maybe that series win against the Yankees turns the squad around. And looking at some of these squares, looking at some of the odds for the pitching props on the books, it looks like to me Dean Kramer's about to have a day.
Star Wars week.
Could be the difference. Could be the difference.
Could
okay.
Be.
Thoughts on the over Krabs in the Orioles game? I certainly lean that way. I even thought about going with that over. I like it. But I like the Orioles on the ML better. I simply cannot resist. I can't. Z-Shrek, why is Jalen Green half a dunk on the pop tab? I don't know, but we will certainly peep that later. Okay, that's super weird.
One game.
Jovan, Goots, thoughts on the Orioles ML?
Got some stones, Krabs. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm in love with it.
Yep.
Holy fuck.
It'd be weird if you were.
Literally prime Katrina outside out of nowhere.
Okay. Well, yeah, Risings, there's no fucking shot that play's going in the squad ride anyways. You think the Orioles -150 deserve a squad ride? No. No shot. No shot. Goots, would love your O's report today. What are we thinking here?
I mean, I would love for that Yankee series win to jolt some life into these guys. I know they've had players-only meetings, so we'll see. I mean, I got to see the product on the field to really give it thought.
Wow. Players-only meeting? Was that post-Yank series?
No, that was before it.
Oh. Well, yeah, I get some going. I could be in.
Why is this the first time I'm hearing about this? Is it a sneak meeting?
We keep that under wraps, Krabs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
I haven't heard Goots bitch about Coach Hyde all week. That could be the difference.
I mean,
that could be the difference.
I could bitch a lot about Coach Hyde, but
yeah.
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt right now.
SBR, I'm sorry, brother. I was really just mean on jinxing your Detroit Tigers, but it turns out that they turned into the prime 2019 Washington Nationals in the playoffs and could not stop scoring. Had a crazy come from behind victory on the road. And next thing you know, it was actually the Pistons who blew it. But yes, I apologize, SBR. I did lie about the Pistons. I liked what I was seeing in the fourth. And as soon as I did, I mean, they couldn't even catch a basketball. They couldn't catch a ball. They couldn't get a rebound. They're diving all over each other in the paint, trying to get rebounds after free throws. They were so nervous. Talk about the lights being too bright. Tobias Harris. I can finally bring up fucking Tobias Harris here, and we're actually talking about him, not Tobias Myers. Tobias Harris grabbed the rebound, and the Pistons win that game.
Really
bad
ball
ball doing?
player.
Tobias Harris taking rebounds off the face, balls going out of bounds, looking like he's playing his first ever basketball game. I blame Tobias Harris. And the guy at the end, wide open three to tie the game, ball goes right through his hands. Talk about the lights being too bright, the definition of it.
Yeah, Cade was having a smoke as many layups as you can in the last 2 minutes challenge.
Cade said, let me try to take the most difficult layups on the run.
I mean, they weren't even that difficult, dude. He just
as far away from the hoop as possible.
He just smoked them. There was one that was really bad. That was just like what the fuck were you doing? Put that up. But the rest of them, like he got to the rim. He just smoked.
Yeah, I just don't get it. It looked like they were losing on purpose.
Yeah.
I know that wasn't the case, but it looked like it. And Jalen Brunson is him. Holy smokes, he's him. All right, Jovan, let's move and groove. Enough talking about the O's. Enough talking about yesterday. I want to hear about this college baseball money line parlay. What do you got cooking on over there?
Yeah, so I wasn't expecting. I knew I wanted to take Florida State. I sure as hell was not expecting the line that ended up coming out, like I guess a little last night. But this line reeks of the same thing as Arkansas, Texas yesterday. Not in the sense that like the better or higher ranked team is a sizable underdog, and like Texas, they got fucking destroyed in that game, like we were talking about. But it's a little different because like this is one of the better games, better series of the ACC that we're going to see all season. And Florida State, you do have Jamie Arnold on the mound, but you also have Knack on the other side, who's an absolute dog. So it's not like there's that big of an edge pitching matchup wise. I think there is a little bit, but Jamie Arnold's fantastic. Not just saying that in a biased way because we did go to the same high school and he's goated, but he is an absolute dog out there. If you haven't watched him, and you're probably a little familiar with the name, but he's going to be out there goating tonight. But they're playing this Clemson team, which last year, funny enough, this was a similar, I guess, outside of a series, really big series. And FSU went to Clemson and started off with a run rule. They got swept. Started off with a run rule. They got absolutely demolished. And there were 2 back-to-back games where Clemson had these crazy, like unbelievable comebacks to win and ended up sweeping the series. FSU remembers that. They've been there before. And now you come back with your ace on the mound. This is the first game back. I think it's a pretty big, like, emotional type game, too. It's going to be a big sellout. Again, one of the bigger games that they're hosting at the Dick Howser Stadium all year. But it's the first, like, real home game, first ACC home game since everything happened in Tallahassee. So, like, it's a big emotional spot game with a lot on the line here in this massive matchup. I think Jamie Arnold absolutely shoves. And I think Clemson, who has been really good so far this ACC season, they just ran into a buzzsaw last week, let's call it. They went down to NC State, which I thought was going to be a pretty tough series for them, and it was. They struggled. They got run off the field pretty much all of those games. I think this is kind of their little rough patch that they're going to go through. I don't know what's going to happen the rest of the series, depending on how they choose to line up the pitching, especially on Sunday. But I think today, going up against Jamie Arnold is kind of where they end it. So taking FSU, I sure as hell did not expect them to be minus 200 in this game, which I think is incredibly telling. Can't say that about like too many college baseball lines, except for the big matchup ones that I guess are capped a little better. But I think to win the game tonight, then West Virginia, their Texas Tech is making their 17th different appearance on the Sharp Report in some form or fashion. They're terrible, and Matt Cure is they're only like decent arm on paper. He hasn't really been all that good so far, and especially as of late, he's been leaking. West Virginia has been an amazing team. They haven't really played anybody in terms of the Big 12, so like they have an incredible record, but they're not nearly as good as their record would seem. But they get to go up against this Texas Tech team that just simply has no arms whatsoever, even like despite Mac. The bullpen's fucking terrible, so if you get to him early, you're going to score double-digit runs in all likelihood. And they have a lefty on the mound. Texas Tech has had some of the worst at-bats I've ever seen every single time, whether it's a starter or a bullpen pitcher going against all these lefties. I don't see why it's going to be any different tonight. I think they absolutely roll. These are 2, I think, very different games that happen to be priced, I guess, relatively the same, which it's not surprising for West Virginia, but it's definitely a little surprising for FSU.
Yep. I mean, what a fucking sell job, Jesus Christ. Jamie Arnold, how long has he been back for Florida State?
He's been back for a bit.
Okay. He's been pitching pretty good?
Yeah. I mean, I would say the best pitcher in all of college baseball. You can't really argue any less than like top 3.
Okay. Yeah, I hope you're right. What'd you say, Goots?
From there.
Ooh.
Okay. Is that the Yale
Up
kid?
there. No. Santa Barbara.
Yale's got a guy. He's a fucking stud.
Really he's going to be a problem come whoever gets that regional.
Yeah.
That's like that's one of the mid-major teams that everybody's hoping not to face. That would maybe
Jack Durkin.
Sela.
Ooh. Is Sela? Yeah. Who from the Southland's going to squeak in? Is it going to be Sela?
You really don't know because like it's
just the conference winner.
It's no, because it's like the conference winner and then whoever doesn't make it out of the 3 teams between Sela, McNeese, and UTRGV is like they're all right on the bubble as like the last team in or the first team out. They're like all right around that area. So like it could be 1, it could be 2, it could even be 3. But I'll tell you, nobody wants to face Sela either because I would be betting them tonight if there was a line out, and there might be eventually. But Stuprich is an absolute sigh.
Let me know. Jack Durkin in the YouTube chat. We got college lacrosse next week. The college lacrosse tourney. Get dialed. Jack, I'm way ahead of you, brother. I've been tapping in last week or so. Yeah, I mean, looks like the Terps might be back this year. Princeton looks pretty fucking good as well. Excited to talk about that tourney. Okay, the college lacrosse tournament on ESPN is elite. Well, it's kind of been a down year for the Irish, but, you can never count them out. And I think they are back-to-back champs, I believe. So didn't they beat Duke in consecutive years back-to-back in the championship? I believe they did. But, yeah, they're kind of having a down year. a little bit this season, but again, maybe they're just a little bit bored during the regular season. They'll turn it back up again in the tournament. Okay. Might be Cornell's year this year, Jack. It's been a while. They look fucking good. Syracuse is also pretty solid. I think they're ranked in the top 10, I believe. They got a pretty good program as well. So, yeah, if you guys are not hip, the college lacrosse tournament is actually fucking electric. It's pretty fun to bet on and watch. Okay. All right. Let's swing it around here, Goots. I got one more straight bet for the peeps. WML parlay from Jovan there in college baseball. Excited to see if Sela gets a lineup. Or was it SEMO you were talking about? Or Sela?
Yeah, they're
Sela.
playing.
Let me know if Sela gets an ML up there. Okay.
Yep.
Against Lamar Jackson. Sure we can. Jovan, maybe the weirdest looking line to me, or the weirdest looking total on the MLB slate for today. It's this total in Houston and Chicago. I mean, Framber has not been, elite so far this season, but he's starting to pick it up a little bit. We know he's better than this. And it doesn't hurt that he's facing a White Sox team that's just not that good. Cannon, though, on the other hand. Cannon's a bad pitcher. I don't like this kid. But he's got some squares up there on the board today, Jovan, that make me think he's turning it into prime side. Yep. He's got a 2.5 run square that could not be greener. If it was, he would not be in the major leagues anymore. It's that bad. And I got a feeling he's going to go out there and do enough today. He might not go 7 innings. He might not even get a quality start and go 6. But I think we're getting 5 strong innings and less than 2 runs allowed from Cannon up there on the bump against the Astros, which kind of a hot take. I mean, the Astros have been involved in 4 straight overs in their last 4 games. They've been scoring runs. They've been giving up runs. So taking an under in this game is pretty crazy. And then you got the White Sox coming off an 8-0 victory in their last game, right? They put up 8 runs. That might be one of the first times they put up 8 runs so far this season. So I want to fade their offense coming off that elite performance and a shutout on the other sides. And then I want to fade the Astros offense against Cannon, who's got some crazy squares up there on Prize Picks that make me feel like he's going to have his best start of the season so far, which is not saying much because he's been that bad. So give me the under in this game. I thought about getting cute and taking the White Sox. I thought about getting cute and taking the first 5 under. But at the end of the day, I just think it's absolutely ridiculous seeing this total down to 7.5. Both these starting pitchers have a combined ERA of 8.5. We know Framber's better than this. He's going to show that tonight. Look at some of his squares. They're pretty high. And I think Cannon does enough as well. Just got to pray the White Sox bullpen doesn't blow it.
Yeah, that's, I guess, the big concern of it all. But I'm not a big Cannon guy. I think he pitches decently well today. I mean, the total would indicate that. Squares would indicate that. I also don't think it's the worst matchup for him either. So I wouldn't be shocked if he goes out there and does job for you, Krabs. Not at all.
I'll hope so. That is a crazy looking total.
Yeah.
Crazy to me. 7.5. All right. Let's swing it around. You got another straight bet here for the peeps. Take us to the ice.
Yep. We'll see you in game 7.
Wow.
In Blues Jets. I think they're winning this game at home too. Obviously, I thought last game they would be able to steal one on the road and it would kind of be flip-flopped and maybe we'd see the road teams get game 5 and game 6 and then send us to 7. But I really intended on betting this to go 7 somehow, some way, whichever way you're going to slice it. And frankly, like I was expecting if game 5 played out the way it did with the Blues losing that game, I figured that would the only kind of path to victory for the Jets where I would be super scared of it is if Connor Hellebuck came out and he looked like Connor Hellebuck again. Thing is, he didn't, and neither did the defense that was in front of him, doing him absolutely no favors, which that's the thing that I really can't get over with the Jets right now because they love to play with this crutch of their defense. If they're going to go on the road and finish the series out, I want to feel confident about the spot that Connor Hellebuck's in. I want to feel confident that the Jets defense looks like the Jets defense again. I want to feel confident about the health of your defense, which is not just that they're not playing well, but now they're down a couple of guys as well. So they're a little injured in the back end. I don't think this is the spot for them to close it out. You can make your argument that they're going to get game 7 in whatever fashion you might, but the Blues, as good as they've been at home in the entirety of their run, like second half of the year, and then obviously it's carried into the playoffs where they look damn good in game 3 and game 4. I don't think that train is stopping now. I think offensively, even in the game 5 loss, they looked rather impressive in a lot of these spots. They just kind of got blitzed early defensively, same as like the Jets did in game 3 and game 4, and were never really able to crawl out of that hole. They tried their best to go like band for them for the first couple periods, and it ended up falling apart because they were allowing just a ridiculous amount of high danger chances, which is irregular for both these teams, but definitely irregular for the Blues as well. So I think that flip-flops tonight. You got them at home. Crazy line movement, too. I was kind of expecting relatively similar lines to what we saw game 3 and game 4, but It opened up shorter than that, and now they flipped, 20 plus cents to a decent sized favorite now, which a little of that is injury concerns, I guess, but that was known before the line even came out. So I was surprised to see that move. But they're hanging like minus 120 now, depending where you look. They're sending this 1-7.
I agree. There's one thing that worries me, and it's that the Blues have not lost a home game in months. Besides that,
Yeah.
this is a great fucking looking play. And you know what? You can make that same argument, I guess, for the whole. I guess the Pistons were in an opposite situation where they have not won a home game in the playoffs in years,
definitely.
and that showed. That showed at the end. Maybe there's some square angles we can lean into. Maybe it should not have been the Pistons last night, and maybe the Blues keep winning at home. They've done it before. You could say this. I could say the same thing every fucking home game for the last 2 months, Jovan, and I look like an idiot because they keep winning games at home. So I'm not gonna let that keep me off the Blues here. If you're putting meat on tape for it, I'm in. I like the play.
Yeah. And I mean, the square angle that I guess I'm leaning into is the fact that Hellebuck hasn't looked good, and now you're down Mark Scheifele because of the hit. So just like, I mean, there's a bunch of different teams. Like the Lightning Panthers series was definitely easily, you could tell the difference between a lot of the injuries that were a product of some dirty hits. And I think if you're this Jets defense right now and you're not playing well, and obviously you're down your main defenseman and your goalie's not playing well or at the level of Connor Hellebuck, you got to go on the road and finish the series off. I don't think you're doing it. I also don't think they're letting Twitter get 2 in a row of their favorite plays in the closeout game after the Leafs yesterday.
Okay. Yeah. I'm in on that angle too. Right after we got fucked by the Senators last night. Let's run it back with a favorite here at home. I'm in. Blues, I'm out. All right. Let's swing it around and talk about some prize pick squares here. Our favorite squares of the day today. Let's talk about them.
Sure.
I hope they still have the square up because I'm not seeing shit up on the books. But let me do a quick check here and see if they still even have Waka squares up. Oh, they do. And if you guys are looking with me, maybe take a peep at that chart. Maybe take a peep at Michael Waka, his stats for the season, the start he had against Houston in that last outing. Maybe take a peep at some of that action because I think he's going up there today and giving up more than 2.5 earned runs allowed against the O's, which is probably, unfortunately, my favorite play today. But they are minus 150. So going to have to lock this in. It is what it is. Michael Waka, this was at minus 135 earlier today, and now it's off the boards. They don't have any pitching squares up here. I don't know what's going on with this. Oh, they're back now. Here we go.
Yeah.
It looks like Waka still juiced to the over. I kept checking it, though. I swear it was not up for a while on Green Book. Now it's back up there. Michael Waka, more than 2.5 earned runs allowed against the O's. Their offense is getting going here. Like Gooch said, that player-only meeting. That could be the difference, right? Before that Yankee series. I think they carry that momentum into this series as well. And seeing Dean Kramer at the spot he's at, seeing this fucking ML moving the way it's moving, it's got to be Michael Waka giving up the runs. If this total is this high, somebody's giving up the runs. And I don't think it's going to be Dean Kramer. Look at some of his squares and the odds for his props because he's getting some serious respect on a Friday night.
A lot of respect.
Should be Waka.
I can at least get behind back in the bats. I'm with you on that.
Yep. And then Ben Brown, this one's fucking crazy, but I guess the Brewers are coming off of getting shut out. Something just up with this Brewers team. They're not meshing. Still a lot of ball left.
Sick. Remember that whole thing? There's like a bug going around the clubhouse, which is why, I don't know, a couple guys were game time decision, I guess, to play yesterday. And a guy, I think one of them was out of the lineup, but the rest of them just played through it like they have been the last couple days, minus Terang. I think he missed. Not yesterday, but the day before that. But yeah, they're crawling through. They look rough.
Yeah, they look terrible. And they're coming off of a, 8-0 loss to the White Sox. Jesus. I typically would not be fading offenses coming off of a game like that, but I simply cannot resist looking at this Ben Brown hits allowed square, Jovan. He's given up about 1 million hits. I'm just going to round up there, but about 1 million hits in his last 5 starts. He has not been good. I don't think he's very good, to be honest with you, but today he will be against this sick Brew Crew lineup that cannot fucking buy a hit, let alone a run. They can't score. They're atrocious. Ben Brown with a hilariously low hits allowed square today. Does make a little bit of baseball sense with what's going on with Milwaukee, sure. But the fact that it's minus 130 to the under on the books for Ben Brown to give up less than 4.5 hits, or more than 4.5 hits, excuse me. Sorry, less, is insane. Jovan. Ben Brown's going to go out there and have the best start he's had in a month and a half. I think he had a couple decent ones, or at least one, the first month of the season, but it's been a while since we've seen Ben Brown lock in. I think we see him lock in today. I think the Brewers bats struggle once again. Give me his less than 4.5 hits allowed. Super juicy on the books. That stuck out to me.
Sure. I could be in on that.
Dubs. I do like the Cubs today, Alex, but, it's a little square, I guess. Although Quinn Priester is starting to finally show some signs of regression, but he's been overall pretty solid for this team today. I don't know if I want to back the Brew Crew or fade the Brew Crew on the ML with the Cubbies, but I think this would probably be my way to do it, just taking Ben Brown less than hits allowed. It wouldn't be very contrarian to me to fade the Brew Crew coming off of getting shut out by the White Sox.
Could help you too. Unlike, I don't know if he's going to get his leash shortened to send a message like Tobias Myers did, but I would assume his leash can't be getting much longer if you're Ben Brown. I know he had a couple decent outings before the last one, but he's overall just been not great. And it seems like the longer they leave him in, it's closer you're getting to that 4+ innings is the worse it gets. So maybe I don't know what the status of their bullpen is right now off the top of my head, but maybe the leash gets shorter and that's their plan for him.
Yeah, maybe it's an early pull. Certainly wouldn't mind that. Kind of like Brad Lord last night. That certainly helped out the Nats. They said, we'll go ahead and get out ahead of this one, right? The guy had a great couple innings. Let's not ruin it by putting him back out there again.
Yeah.
I can see it. That could certainly help us with that Ben Brown less than hits allowed. We got Dyson coming in, dropping a resub. Let's go, Dyson. Attaboy. Appreciate you, Beast. We got Stanley the Clove coming in, giving out a resub as well. Stanley, you are him. You are him, bro. Appreciate you, Beast. We got some new follows coming in as well. Dova Corp, Fudge EU coming in, dropping follows. Appreciate you guys. We are almost at 50K. Help us get there. All right. 69 Nice said, beers were talking to me last night, and I made the Cubs ML thoughts. I do think they win. I can't fade the Brew Crew coming off of getting shut out by the White Sox, but I certainly lean the Cubs. I do. And the Walker props are gone again off the Green Book. What is going on? They don't have any pitching props up right now. Are the lineups getting dropped maybe and they're moving shit around? I don't know what the hell is going on with that. Super weird, dude. Super really weird. Something's going on with this game. Yeah, Walker, who knows? All right. Jovan, I want to hear your squares, and as you sell them, I'm going to lock in the Sharp Report 4-man and drop it in the chat.
Sure. Start off in the only NBA game tonight, Warriors-Rockets, which I was trying to find something in this game, and I was just scrolling on Twitter, and it was one of the couple things that I ran into a couple times where it was just randomly, I don't know why I'm seeing these tweets, but it was bench Buddy Hield tweets from Warriors fans bitching. And I was like, oh, well, I know Moses Moody, who's the guy who gets a lot of their minutes, is the one who went off yesterday or last game. He had 25 points, and seeing a Buddy Hield 9.5 line compared to Moses Moody 7.5. So I went back in and I tried to figure out what the story was here outside of the fact that Moses Moody is the better defender, I guess, on paper. So they were trying to utilize him a lot more in the last game. And he was a great offensive weapon for them, but didn't mean anything for the defense in the end because they gave up 130 points. But now the talk of this game seems to be, and Steve Kerr said the same thing, they got to get the ball in Jimmy Butler's hands more because the Rockets are playing this little zone, which people are also bitching about because there's 25 seconds in the paint consecutively that Sengun's just sitting in there. And that's, I guess, the reason it's been so good. A lot of the tweets are saying, but I was looking at it, and you got to get the ball in his hands for a couple different reasons, not just because he's not very effective when he's not involved on the ball, but he also has been key at kind of attacking that defense and getting any sort of movement directly towards the paint. And that's something they didn't do very good last game, frankly. And the games that they did do good, it kind of set up everything for the shooters because once Jimmy does penetrate in the paint and comes off of the screens and just goes one-on-one downhill, that gets the Houston defense to collapse, which leaves a lot of room open for the shooters. If you look at the game that Buddy Hield had when Jimmy did that, and what was it, game 4? That's the game that Buddy Hield had his best game of the series. So I think a lot of these shooters are set up for pretty good performances today, and Buddy Hield is the one that I think stood out the most for me because that's where a lot of his production is going to have to come from because he had to go off the dribble a little bit at times in last game, and that's part of the reason why he did absolutely nothing. But again, when Jimmy had the ball in his hands and he was able to facilitate after, the defense collapses on him, Steph did the same thing. Those are the games and those are the situations where he's actually showed up and not been the subject of a lot of bitching from the fans. So I think we get a performance like that today, a situation like that today for the offense. So give me Buddy Hield, and then Bo Bichette is the guy that's been seeing absolute beach balls, Krabs. So I'm kind of riding his streak. You probably wouldn't like if you saw the his 1.5 total bases chart. But this game, I'm kind of just throwing a lot of the charts, a lot of the greenery, a lot of the square angles out of the window. And Bo Bichette, he's been a guy that's been absolutely demolishing the baseball. He's actually been seeing lefties really well too, as we would expect from Bo Bichette. But the team overall hasn't had many opportunities against a lefty so far this year. And Bo Bichette, although he's been hitting the ball hard and he's been seeing the ball really well, he still doesn't have a home run on the season to show for it, which is pretty surprising. And now that he's gotten on this little hot streak and he gets to face a lefty that is just giving up a ton of barrels, as he always has throughout the entirety of his career, I think now's the time where he might get on the board, Krabs. After Vlad got his moment last night, you have Bo Bichette and a golden matchup. Don't get me wrong, it's one for Vlad as well, but I think there's going to be runs in this game. I think Bo Bichette's going to be a pretty big part of it, and would not be surprised if that first horn goes off in Toronto for Bo tonight.
Okay. Well, we saw Toronto's bats get going last night. Let's hope that continues tonight. Yeah, a little late, right? Let's hope they carry that late momentum, I guess, into today offensively. Let's hope Bo Bichette stays hot. And I love that Buddy Hield sell job, man. What a great sell job. Love those squares. And I dropped the link to the lineup. If you guys want to get involved in the Twitch, there it is. Boom. All right. Best book play for Bo. If you had to take Bo on the books, what would you take?
I would assume his HRR is at 2.5 for plus check. I'm trying to look, but the book is bugging out. 2.5 minus 105 is crazy. Wow. But yeah, that's probably how I would do it.
Okay. All right. Well, W squares, W sharp report 4, man. Let's smack one of these puppies.
Sure.
Luke likes that look in the chat. Did not know he was a St. Louis guy. Hopefully Yale's watching. Battlehawks, Blues, and Cards all start at 7 p.m. Oh, did the Battlehawks play tonight? I thought that was tomorrow.
Wow. Is that all in St. Louis tonight?
Yeah, they do have a home game. I don't know if the Battlehawks play tonight or tomorrow.
So I know the Cardinals are at home. I have no idea where the Battlehawks, where they're home or on the road. But I would assume if you're saying it, that means they're at home. That's an insane St. Louis.
I know for a fact they're at home. I just don't know when they play.
Oh, well, he's saying it all starts at 7, so I guess it's got to be tonight.
Look. Let's see.
It's all at the same time. That's insane. St. Louis, Yale.
Wow.
Yale might burn down to the ground tonight.
Tomorrow, I got to hit him up. I can't have him miss that game. Shit. Don't let the Battlehawks get hot. It might be too late. They're literally single-handedly keeping the UFL alive.
Literally, GG, if you're getting an Uber in St. Louis tonight. You're going to be paying racks.
Yep. Yeah, what a crazy night. Jeez.
Are those I've never been to St. Louis. So are those close? All the stadiums?
Yeah, maybe Luke could tell us in the chat. I'm assuming the Battlehawks play where the Rams used to play.
Yeah,
he says
I
yes.
know that. That's
they're all pretty close.
That is dog meat.
Prime's on the Arlington Renegades.
Shocker.
He already locked them in. Dude, Ballpark Village will be a scene. Are they all in walking distance?
Yeah,
Luke?
Are they?
Is where the Blues play in walking distance of the Cardinals? That's crazy.
Wow.
All within 2 miles of each other? Sure. Cool.
You got any Battlehawks lines?
I don't see lines up yet. Oh, are they short faves?
Minus 122 POD, Battlehawks ML. Shout out Max Duggan.
Okay.
Shout out Max Duggan.
Okay. Sure. Let's go, Luke. You're him, bro. Appreciate that. We will get to St. Louis at some point, because at some point Yale's gonna force us to go there and go to a Cardinals game. And I'm okay with that. I've always wanted to go to a Cardinals game.
Yeah, I do want to go.
Great things about
for
that
sure.
stadium. So we'll get out there at some point. Okay. W Luke, W chat. All right, let's keep moving and grooving. Joshua in the chat and the YouTube, W YouTube gang. Let me know if you're in the YouTube gang chilling right now. I want to see all the goats in there. We got Joshua in the YouTube talking about let's go back to the Angels. I do kind of like the Angels today, and I think Jovan does too. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Kind of do. There's something pretty off with Scooball. And this whole, I mean, a lot of his lines today doesn't make very much sense, frankly.
No, it does not.
Lines in the game, too, are odd. In fact, they opened that short. They haven't even got up to minus 200, which is where I probably would have thought it should have opened from the start.
Yeah. Well, why don't we go take a look at Pickett Pro and see what people are betting on in these games? I'm sure Goots can take a stroll over there for us. W Goots as well. Have a week, Goots. Have a week. I know last week was Goots' week, but have a week this week, Goots. Keep killing it. We got Nerfy Chad getting involved, resubbing as well. Let's go, Chad. 39 months. Holy smokes. A seasoned veteran. Real goat sub on Twitch. Yes, they do. The pick six. Yes, they do. W Chad. W the pick six. And W Goots getting the picket splits up and moving. Sure he can. And would you look at that? Not a soul betting on the Angels tonight. Would be weird if they were. And I'm looking at some of the squares for Soriano as well, Jovan. I know you talked a lot about, the weird squares up there for Scooball, right, on Prize Picks, and I agree. And he's coming off of one of his best starts of his career. Would love to fade him. Also love seeing Jose Soriano up there for 27.5 fantasy score after giving up, after combining for 19 fantasy score total in his last two games. And the start before that, he had 14 fantasy points against the Rangers. So he's been dog shit in his last three outings. I think he goes out there and pitches a little bit better today. Now, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Because I was seriously regretting not taking the Angels first five yesterday back in Kikuchi, and that would have been free as ma. And I've been pretty good with the first fivers, and honestly, taking nasty sharp plays overall, and then putting my square cap on, my baseball brain cap on, and then isolating in the first five, it's done me pretty good. And in this case, this is another perfect example of this, Jovan, where we don't want to involve this Tigers bullpen at all because they're really good if we're fading them. We certainly don't want to really back the Angels bullpen. They're really nothing to write home about. So do we just want to isolate here and take the Angels first five plus a half? But are we, as soon as we make that switch up after we got burned last night, are we going to get burned again? And then today it'll be the Angels I'm out. That's what I worry about.
That's always the scary part of trying to figure it out. I don't really know because it's keeping the bullpen out of it, but limiting yourself to just Scooball seems a little odd.
It's not just Scooball. It's more fading Scooball and backing Soriano.
Yeah, I know. I'm just talking about like offensively limiting yourself. I know the bullpen's great, but you're taking out, I guess, the bullpen for the Tigers and just limiting your offense to Scooball, which is what makes it very, very difficult. But I agree. I think the best way to probably play it would be the first five plus a half.
I think I agree as well. These first fives have been treating us pretty well, Jovan. I think that's probably the move. I really do. First five plus a half. I like that. All right. Let's look at some other games. What do you got?
I'm seeing their first five team total over 1.5 is plus 110.
Wow.
You know that potentially correlates with one of the squares that's on Prize Picks for Mr. Scooball.
Yes, it does. His 1.5 earned runs allowed square.
Yes, which obviously, I mean, he's probably going more than 5, but
yeah, that worries me a little bit there. He'll give up that second run in the 6th before he gets
could just give up a 2-run shot early.
Yeah, would certainly hope so. I don't know if I want to pigeonhole myself that much with the first 5 team totals, but
fair.
I certainly do. I certainly don't hate it.
Fair.
I think I would rather just go first 5 Angels because I kind of want to get Soriano involved, to be honest with you, and back him to pitch okay today. I think you're right with that first 5 plus a half for the Angels. You might have to circle back to that. Okay.
Yep.
I want to go check the splits in the Nats game, Goots, if you don't mind, and then the O's game too. I want to see what people are betting on Pickett here. If you guys aren't hip to Pickett, look, it might not have the greatest sample of volume here, but at least we know where the data is actually coming from. Unlike every single other platform, app, website, we have no clue where that data is coming from. It's all skewed. This is all just recreational people logging in or normal people logging in, tracking all their bets, and we know where all the money is. So at least we know it's legitimate. It might not be the biggest sample size, but I honestly prefer to look at these splits now because at least we know it's real. And shocker, nobody here is betting on the Nats. They probably shouldn't, but I kind of like them today. And looks like everybody's taking the over. Yeah, I mean, I guess nobody's locking in an under in Great American Small Park in general.
Yeah,
Maybe that makes
you're
me feel a
probably
little bit better about
never
it.
going to see that unless it's like a really big pitcher's duel on both sides.
Okay.
Which Mitchell Parker's been good, but not enough to draw that kind of public attention yet.
Yeah. Weather looks awful in this game. I was also seeing in the chat, you guys were talking about Roth and his weather report. Apparently, this one is not getting good looks for tonight. So we're not going to spend any more time on this game.
Yeah, definitely don't take the under though, because the under
No.
the weather is really great if it plays. It's just the only question is that because
Right.
again, this is the biggest home run weather boost there's been in Great American Ballpark all season. It's bigger than the one was in Coors when Hunter Green pitched over the weekend.
Wow. All right. That could be exactly what the Nats bats need, man. I hope they play this game tonight. Come on. And yeah, let's not act like the weather people are wrong more than Trent, because they are. 30%. That's what they hit at the weatherman. So let's not ever think that one. We got a lot of time left. A lot could change between now and then. Okay. All right. Let's keep moving and grooving. I want to look at those O splits for just 1 second here, kids. We don't need to take too long on it, but go ahead and take a peep. See how they're looking. Are people betting on the O's today? A little bit. Which one is the ML? Is it the top one or the middle one?
Well, the top one's the ML. The bottom ones or the middle one's the run line.
Need to get my magnifying glass out. Apologies. Okay. So it looks like people are betting on the Orioles a little bit. Interesting. Not ideal. Not ideal. All right. Any other games you want to look at here, Jovan? I'm hearing Rav might be boots on ground tonight in Pittsburgh.
People are talking.
Yeah.
No
boots on ground in Pittsburgh tonight. San Diego and Pitt. Total up to 8.
One, man. You're having getting one boots on ground, dude.
Could it be a Cease bounce back?
Could be a Cease bounce back, but definitely don't see one coming for Mitch Keller.
Okay.
Against that Padres lineup that's cooled down a little bit recently, but same deal. Like if you have a lineup that puts balls in play a lot, you're not giving Mitch Keller many whiffs to work with. Hasn't really worked out too well the entirety of the season for the most part.
Yeah. You're not wrong. Kind of like some runs in this game, maybe? Totals up to 8.
Probably like some runs too, yeah. I can see C's pitching better, I guess. It's the Pirates, so that's probably especially coming off of that start against the Rays where he was super inefficient. It's probably like everybody's favorite bounce back spot today. And don't know that I completely disagree, but I don't think it'll come without a little bit of damage.
I know. I almost thought about putting his less than 4.5 hits allowed in the Sharp report. That was one of the squares I liked. The unders -125 on the books. Really like that Dylan Cease less than hits allowed, but I think it's a little too easy looking, Jovan, right? Everybody loves and knows Dylan Cease. The guy's been a beast for the last couple seasons, and everybody's just waiting for him to bounce back. And the Padres have been great so far this year, and they're facing off against the Pirates. So I think it's a little too easy. I'm with you. I'm going to stay off.
Fair.
All right. What other games, chat? You guys want to talk about Arizona, Philly? Merrill Kelly, Luzardo? We'll talk about that Red Sox game in a moment here, chat. For now, let's talk about Arizona, Philly. Merrill Kelly, somehow 3-1 this year with nearly a 5 ERA. How do you think he pitches today against the Phillies?
I mean, it's hard to think he pitches incredibly well. It's kind of a tough matchup for him, even against the Phillies offense. It's just the D-backs. The D-backs on the other side are, I guess, the more interesting team because their numbers have gotten progressively worse and worse and worse against lefties for a majority of the season. And like, it's not something that I thought was going to happen. And we've seen it trickle down, and there's been some really good matchups they've had. We've bet on some of them in the last couple of weeks, and they just haven't been coming through. I know Ketel Marte is back today, so that's a big boost, or likely to be back today. But I don't know. It's hard to trust them against lefties right now. So I'm not super thrilled with the D-backs.
We got Dragon Slayer coming in, giving out a 5-unit sub whale. Let's go Dragon Slayer, out of boy.
We got Dragon Slayer and Total Slayer. Literally,
I mean, just
LeBron
two
and
Slayers
D-Wade.
who are absolutely having a week. Have a week, gents. Can someone link the BTL Prize Picks lineup? Yep. There it is. Boom. Slayer's fuck. Confirmed. With all the subbies they're giving this week, they must. Favorite square in the Phillies game? Chat's asking us. If you had to take somebody in the Phillies game, who would you take? I'd take Merrill Kelly less than 16.5 pitching outs because it's super weird looking. What about you?
I mean, if Cattell plays, I'll probably take Cattell.
Okay.
That's probably what I would say. I know this is another one of the games with like really good hitting weather, which plays into the total a little bit, and I'm sure it plays into a lot of the pricing of the squares and pitcher squares and all of that stuff. So we'll probably go with Cattell, but a lot of things look weird in this game.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. I don't know why I don't see stuff up on the books for this game right now. Oh, here we go. Sure we can. I wanted to see what the pitching outs were sitting out for Merrill Kelly here. He's at 16.5 with a juicy over on the books. Not surprised to see that, considering it's extremely green. I still kind of like the less than there.
Yeah.
He's also got a 2.5 earned runs allowed goblin square after not eclipsing that number in his last 4 starts. So that's interesting. He might be getting mucked up a little bit today, Merrill Kelly. Not the hottest of takes. Phillies are good. Okay. Ryder said, I don't know how I don't take this under after what we saw from the Phillies offense yesterday.
That's the only thing that concerns me. It's the fact that we just saw that. So it's always the next day syndrome. So like I wouldn't be surprised if they splooge, because I really don't feel all that confident about the D-back splooging, because again, they've been so horrid against lefties for the last handful of weeks now. But I don't know. Maybe you get a boost with Cattell back. Obviously on paper you do, but we'll see how much he gets game 1. Just the Phillies, you know that over is somehow going to be free after Bagel yesterday.
Probably. Yeah. Ryder, I wish it was as easy as just doing whatever happened yesterday, but unfortunately, it's honestly more frequent to see the opposite happen the next day, and that's baseball, right? All right, let's keep moving and grooving. We only got about 9 or so minutes left. I do want to get to a couple of these other games. Can I get the Rays report from you? Plus 205 against the Yanks. Sheesh.
Crazy price, but they should be priced like that until they figure out how to lefty or hit a lefty. The D-backs have been, I guess, at least like just below league average. The Rays have been fucking awful against any lefty. Now, do I think Fried's going to go out there and have a no-hit bid like he did a week ago against the Rays for 6 innings? No, probably not, but it's hard to believe. I mean, this lineup is just really bad against lefties. Again, like the only thing that gives the lineup like any sort of balance right now is Aranda, Brandon Lau. A lot of the lefties in there kind of balance out the top of half, but when one of them at least they're not in the lineup, and then the other one is just bad against lefties, or both of them are not in the lineup, it's just god-awful lineup. So like Fried probably shoves today. Can't take him because he just threw a damn near no-hitter against them last time out, but don't know if he is going to do much worse.
Okay. Yeah, definitely interesting line. Very disrespectful to the Rays, but like you said, they can't hit a lefty, and they're facing maybe the best one in baseball tonight. Good luck.
Yeah.
Okay. Hearing a lot of talk about the Twins and the Red Sox game. Let's get to it. Let's check the splits out. Pickett Pro. And I would love to talk about this game with Jovan before we get to the squad ride here. Do you think it's weirder seeing Joe Ryan and the 13-19 Twins open up minus 120? Or is it weirder seeing this game back to a pick'em with Bello up on the bump for the Red Sox, who is the worse arm, in my opinion, compared to Joe Ryan, and he's catching 10 cents of steam after that atrocious loss last night. Back-to-back atrocious losses for the Red Sox. What's weirder?
Well, I'll tell you what, I guess some of what steam has to do with, because it was supposed to be, or I guess backtrack, like I was expecting steam the other way, because Walker Buehler was supposed to start this game, and it ended up being Brian Bayo because Walker Buehler, I guess, is getting like shoulder surgery or something. So he was penciled in for the start. Um, so I don't know. I think this is a pretty bad spot for Joe Ryan. I'm a Joe Ryan guy, but the Red Sox against these pitchers, like, sure, they're going to strike out a ton, but he loves to fill up the zone with his fastball, which is why you see a lot of, I don't know, when Joe Ryan's in like his worst starts, you'll see a lot of barrels, a lot of hard hits, a lot of home runs. This could be one of those starts, I think, Krabs, which is a big time problem. It's like kind of like the Red Sox, scared to go back to them, but I think it might be them again.
Kind of like the over in this game. You got Minnesota coming off of 3 straight unders in their series against the Guards. Shocker. Twins and Guards, all the games go under. I feel like every single Guards Twins game ever has gone under.
Yeah.
And then the Red Sox coming off that snooze fest last night, man. First time in a while we've seen an under from them because we know how they play. They score a lot of runs. They give up a lot of runs. That's the Red Sox way. And they play in Fenway, which is the most hitter-friendly ballpark in baseball based off of batting averages. So not surprised. And we always see the total a little bit higher in Fenway, always like a half run higher than it typically should be. I'm pretty used to seeing this at this point, but you're still getting Joe Ryan versus Bello. Ryan coming off of maybe one of his best starts of the season, the Twins coming off of 3 straight unders, and the Red Sox coming off an embarrassment offensively and an under in their last game. And we're getting a total here at 9. I don't know, man. I kind of like runs in this game. Yeah, might fade both guys.
Yeah,
I do like a lot of overs today, Kaprizov. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some offenses today. I just also think like some of the better pitchers that are on the slate are, and like they have tougher matchups. Like Joe Ryan's one of the examples. Even like Scooball doesn't have a tough matchup on paper because the Angels are terrible against lefties. But for like a team that's terrible against lefties, that's probably one of the weirder spots. Just a lot of stuff like that is around today. But all I have to say, back to this game, kind of want to go Red Sox.
Wow. Okay. All right. I mean, yeah, after they stole our coins last night, they probably will win tonight. All right, really quick Braves-Dodgers play, Jovan. What do you like? Yamamoto versus Holmes. Any reads?
Not too much. I think that's a closer game than probably a lot of people think it's going to be with Holmes. I think he could pitch actually decently well. It's just the problem of how many of those balls can stay in the ballpark. He gives a lot of fly balls, gives up a lot of fly balls. So he's probably going to pitch to that. I think it's going to be a close game where the Dodgers, if they win it, are probably going to have to do it late. Probably leading the Braves, if anything, but probably not going to get there.
Okay. All right. Lean the Braves. I thought the Braves were getting a little bit of line respect as well. I thought we'd see the Dodgers hovering around -2, -200 on the ML, but they're on the roads, and it's still Atlanta, who's been one of the better teams in the NL over the last couple of years. They might not be in that spot right now, but maybe they're getting some leftover respect. But I was expecting to see +170, not +150 for the Braves today with Grant Holmes on the bump. Probably a good sign for Atlanta.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get to the squad rides. I want to cook this puppy up. Let's finish the week strong. Let's finish the week with a dub here, chat. You guys ready to vote? Let's do it. Gootsy, if you don't mind, run that shit. I'm trying to see that train. All right, chat. 2-2 this week on squad rides. Let's finish the week on a high note. Let's finish strong with a W tonight. Jovan. Are we putting the Blues in here?
Yes.
I feel like we have to.
Yes.
Okay. Blues on up. Nats Reds over certainly could be postponed tonight. It's looking like about a 50-50 shot. Do we leave it out? Do we put it in?
I think we put it in. If it's a winner, it's a winner. If it gets postponed, it gets postponed.
Let me check out what my guy Kevin Roth is saying about it. Wow, they suspended play in the Byron Nelson Cup. That stinks.
GG.
Okay. Let's check out the weather. He says the weather sucks today. It's still orange, though, for the game. It's not in the red zone yet.
Huge.
All right, let's take it. Let's put it in there. If it was red, I'd say no go. It's not.
W red. But also, I did see, I think he said this, that there's a chance it gets like delayed a little bit through, which you don't love that for
Only help the
bats,
over.
but yeah, it would help because both of those bullpens are fucking terrible.
I mean, imagine.
If we
Imagine
get
this
those
game gets
bullpens
paused in
for
the second or third inning, and they have to go bullpen game for the Reds and the Nats.
God, dude.
I mean, I don't know. Is Andrew Chafin's debut going to be today?
Ooh, Goots, good points. Now, I will say the Reds have been mucking up lefties, so it might not be a good day to use them.
Yeah, I mean they've been good against them. It's only been a few over the last couple weeks. Mucking might be taking it a little far, but they've been much better than the start of the year.
Jovan, what if I told you that Mr. Dean Kramer was getting a win today?
Krabs,
Trust?
didn't you just say when we were talking about this that there was no shot the
We're
Orioles
not.
minus 150 was getting in the squad?
We're not putting the minus 150 as.
Well, now we're here.
I mean, you're the one who said it. What do you mean? That was your words.
Yeah, but that's a bunch of bullshit. You know it, and I know it.
Krabs.
They're winning this goddamn game.
Krabs.
Are we putting them in? Are we leaving them out?
You have to drop serious nuts to get this in the poll.
Talk to me about this Guards and Blue Jays over. How much you like that over?
I like it a pretty good bit, which I know you probably don't love looking at the pitchers that or the performances that each of the pitchers are coming off of, which I don't love to back either. But I think this is a longer term decline for the both of them.
Okay.
Which is why I'm on it.
Okay. Take your fandom out of this. Oh, you're asking Goots for the nerfy? Won't be easy. All right, let's leave the O's out. We'll give them a chance. We'll let them splooge off to the side. Let's run a two-piece poll. 2 plays, 2 winners, 2 high-quality winners.
Wow.
On the slate, in my opinion. Love both these plays. You get the Blues on the ML, and you get the over on the Diamond and Cincy, Jovan. Why overthink it? Why overthink it? 2 plays, 2 winners.
And
keep it simple. I feel like that's, yesterday we had 5 plays in there. We're getting a little too cute. Get those votes in, chat. 2 plays, 2 winners. Sure, we could have put the Angels first 5 in here, but who the hell would have taken that? Let's be fucking real. Nobody's voting for that shit over the Blues. Give me a break.
Yeah.
Come on.
Not a screwball fades are not incredibly popular.
I do like that play, but let's be real here, guys. That would not have won this poll. That would have came in last.
Yep.
Who in their right mind wants to take the Angels, especially if anybody took the Angels with me yesterday? Bless their hearts. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for those who tailed. That one stunk.
Wow. Reds lineup looks kind of nicey.
Who they got lead off?
Friedel, and then 8 lefties or 8 righties.
There you go. Okay.
And Stevenson's DHing, not catching. Huge for Hunter Green fades.
Could be the difference.
Beach ball and Noel V. Marte in the cleanoff spot. Dude seeing legit bowling balls at the plate.
He is locked.
So locked.
Yep. We got a couple of races, horse races here for Old Man All-American. He's got some bets. Belmont race number 7. More for sure. No way we got a horse named More for sure. Where can I bet on that horse? Sure. Unbelievable. BTL fellas, how many gifted subs for a hosted surge? Can't run that today, OG. We gotta record an MLB pod.
Yeah, couldn't even do it if we wanted to.
We're gonna record an MLB pod there for you guys, so you can check that puppy out this weekend. So at least you got something to listen to the rest of the weekend, okay? No surge today, but we're gonna do a pod talking about some baseball. All right. We got the Blues tonight on the ice. Sure we can.
Let's get Yale on the horn.
Sure we can. Let's fucking go, dude. Get Yale up and moving. We got the Blues who have not lost a home game in 3 months. Up there on the board on the ML. Let's fucking go. I do feel a lot better about this after the Senators did not come home last night, I'll be honest.
Sure.
Feel a lot better after it. Okay. All right, chat. Look, guys, it's a Friday night. Trent's got the poker tourney going on. Let's give him a break. We'll be back on the surge on Monday. And check out the MLB pod that we release this weekend. Okay? Squad Ride is the Blues on the ML. W week this week. W giveaway today. And if you guys want the plays, you know where to find them. Picket, the Discords, all free always. Okay, get involved. We'll catch you guys on Monday. Same time, same place.